Ladies and gentlemen, we are not worthy. We are here live with, let's be real, our favorite guest of all time. I always feel very underdressed next to this guy.
We're almost there.
I'm trying,
we're
man.
Almost
I'm
there.
working on it, man. I got to get in the gym like you, man. You look great. You look fantastic. Of
Thank
course,
you, man.
He's our 2023 BCB Plus Indie Wrestler of the Year. He no longer qualifies for
Ah,
that award
no
because you
more.
have transcended, continue to grow. I'm going to get the mushy stuff out of the way real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Then we'll handle business.
Yes, sir.
Someone who's inspired me, someone who's been there for me on a personal level, someone who has had a dream, captured that dream, and continues to climb that ladder. My friend, Mr. Casey Navarro.
I appreciate you, Rob, man. You're the man. I'm happy that we're doing this here.
Long overdue.
Yeah. But, hey, you were there from the beginning,
Yeah.
and now I'm on TNA,
Yeah.
and you're still here.
And there was never a doubt. There
never
was never a doubt. You're killing it real quick. There's so much to talk about. We got Slammiversary coming up July 20th.
Day before my birthday.
Is it really? Yeah.
It is.
Well, that's
And
right.
the anniversary of my first ever wrestling show, and that was
that
also
right?
in Long Island. So I think the stars are aligning for me.
All right, 21. That's your number. Yeah, 21st. There you go. But I got to ask you this. I got to take you back, man, because we've talked so much on the podcast, on the show, on the website about your journey and you putting ink to paper, pen to paper, man.
Yeah.
I talked to you a bit privately about this, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, man. But,
Sure.
you did it. I'm incredibly proud of you.
Yeah.
It's cool to see people chase their dreams and capture their dreams. And you're in it too.
Yeah.
You're not the pre-show. You are in it. Bro.
Yeah, yeah. Right
what
in the
is-
deep end.
What does that mean to you? Was there emotion? How did that go down? Was there tears? Anything you're comfortable sharing on putting pen to paper?
I mean, for me, it's kind of like I always say, it's the glory to God, man. I really thought it was kind of it for me. I was one of those guys that everybody was like, oh, it's his time. And I was right there. And every time that moment happens, they'd be like, oh, man, not right now. Or, oh, we'll call you next year. And it's like, I guess it's just not meant for me right now. Or maybe it's not meant for me at all. And then when I least expected it, I got that call. And when they told me I was joining first class, I'm like, well, I'm going to fill this role to the best of my ability.
Gosh.
Killed it. My first two matches were against my boys, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Shout out to Chris Bay.
Yes.
And my third match was against the Hardys. So I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful. And I take every opportunity and I maximize it to the maximum degree. And I'm just going to keep doing that all the way to Slammiversary, man.
Wow, man. And you're absolutely killing it. And I said this to you privately as well. You really you fit right in.
Yeah.
You and AJ have that chemistry. You guys had your little show on Thursday. Little face-to-face with Macklin backstage. I like Macklin. He's a nice guy, but he's a different guy outside the ring than he is in the ring. I mean, I think you might be taking on Steve Macklin coming up. How you feel about
Well,
that?
I'm waiting for Santino to get back to me, but I don't know. I think Macklin's got a bit of an attitude problem.
All right. Fair enough.
And I'll fix that next week if I get that match to happen by Santino, but that's up to Santino. I'll worry about that when that happens.
Fair enough.
I got a few days still.
And Macklin is, of course, a former TNA champion or Impact champion.
Sure.
But I have to ask you this. There was a moment, and I've asked a lot of your colleagues about this moment. AJ Francis had a match with Nick Nemeth, someone I know you look up to.
Yeah.
But after that match, I noticed something with you.
What'd you notice?
You picked up that TNA World Championship case. I'm not going to lie, it looked good, too.
Are you talking about the background of my phone
Yes, of course.
This? Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
In that, and I know it was after a match, it was about AJ, but you picked it. Did you feel something? Was there a connection? Because I know you have goals. You always have, man. Did it feel right? What was that moment like?
To be able to run out there and attack one of my heroes and look down at him, but then look to my left and see that TNA World title sitting there, and I picked it up. And just holding it in my hands, even though it was a few seconds. I always tell people I was TNA World Champion for a few seconds on camera. But to be able to hold that, it felt right. And when Basil, shout out to Basil, who takes our pictures at TNA, when he sent me that picture, that's the background of my phone, it looked right. I looked like a champion. And I was like, that's going to happen. And I didn't even hesitate. I made it the background of my phone because I need to wake up every day. And the first thing I see is me holding the TNA World title because I need to make that happen. Whether it's the TNA World title, the X Division title, the digital media title, or the tag titles, I'm going to make it happen. And I believe I'm going to make it happen in 2025.
I believe it too, man. Never a doubt with you, and you set goals for yourself and you make it happen.
Yep.
I got to ask you this, Casey. What is it like for you? Because I've seen your journey right now. So many people putting their name on you. I've seen Tasha do it, Cardona, great feuds with him in the past, Carrion, the list goes on. Even when I interview people, Santana I talked to, he saw your journey, man. What is that like for you, having them kind of give you their blessing and now have them as some of them as your colleagues. What's that like for you backstage, man?
I mean, it's unreal. You know, every time I'm backstage, I kind of have to pinch myself because I'm around all these people. Like, you know, I didn't get to see Tasha for a while because, you know, she was doing her thing on TNA and I was just grinding away. So being able to fly with her and travel the world with her now is pretty great. Mike Santana, you know, he has a hell of a story and it's very inspiring to me. I actually remind him almost every time I see him at TV, like, you're an inspiration, man. Like, and being able to have him as my first singles match actually being signed, you know, I give him a lot of credit because, you know, in that match he gave me a lot and he didn't have to in his position. You know, he's a guy that's in the position of going for that TNA world title. He didn't have to help a guy like me, and he did on television. So I'm very grateful for him. Matt Cardona, we already know the story with that. Guy was my hero, and now he's my colleague. When you actually go to the TNA shows, there's one of those banners up now, and it's me, Mustafa Ali, AJ Francis, ABC, and right below me is Matt Cardona. And I remember I FaceTimed my mom and my dad. When I showed up to the building, I saw that poster, and I go, Mom, like, who would have thought? Like, this little 12-year-old kid that looked up to this guy is now on the same poster as this guy, and that's my coworker now. So it's pretty cool. And then Karrion Kross, you know, shout out to Karrion Kross, man. He went above and beyond to help me in my career, and he's super proud of me. I got to talk to him the other day. So I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful to be working with guys like the Hardys, Nick Nemeth, and man, I'm blessed, man.
Always, man. Let's ask you this. We talk about Cardona. We always talk about this on the show, man. I think it's time for the first ever Casey Navarro action figure, man.
I
just
agree.
Put that out there.
I agree. I've been telling Matt Cardona that all the time, and then he asked me if I have 20 grand. I'm like, whoa, pardon me. Calm down.
He's a businessman.
Yeah, I know. He is, man.
That's all right. You just beat him again, and then there we go.
We'll make it a stipulation on TV that if I beat him, he's got to make me an action figure.
I'm here for it, and I will buy an action figure immediately, at least one. Casey, I want to ask you this. You briefly mentioned, like, being given so much so early on. Like, I noticed that early on, like, you're not, and no disrespect to anyone, I don't think of it that way, but you're not at the proverbial bottom of the card. Like,
sure.
You are fighting, you're in there with Joe Henry, you're in there with Nick, you're in there with the Hardys, what a match was, and I'm watching these guys, like, it looks like they're having, like, they're trying stuff, even though they're beating you up.
Sure.
They're really going for it with you, man.
I was the first guy to take the plot twist.
I didn't know what you were comfortable with sharing.
Yeah, I was the first guy.
Yeah, and what's that like for you when they're like, hey, do you want to, like, what's that trust like for you where they're like, hey, we want to do this with you?
I mean, being the new guy, you know, for them to look at me and be like, hey, we want to do this, especially like it's the Hardys, it's like, okay. But it's like, I'm meant to be here. And if these guys trust me, I need to protect them. I got to make them look good. That's my job. And if they can trust me in that type of position, I'm ready for it. I was meant to do this. I was meant to be here, and I need to show TNA management why they signed me and why I was a good investment to bring in.
Yeah, I mean, and you're doing that in real time, man, and we're so proud of you. I got to ask you this one, man. Many times we've had you on, and you talked about being bullied. You talked about, you know, whether it was for liking wrestling, for being, you know, smaller as a kid. Dude, you put on a lot of muscle. You look great. By the
shout
way,
out Steve Gibkey. He made it happen. And Diamond Jim. I give credit to all those guys.
Yeah, and to yourself, man. You
Sure.
really, I've seen you put in the work, man. I know a lot of wrestlers. I currently date a wrestler.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. It's a lifestyle. You really have to live it. And I saw you do that. To me, you're the blueprint of making it. Like,
sure.
From my perspective.
Thank you.
But I got to ask you this, man. You always talk about being bullied. Is there some sort of vindication of where you are at now? Has anyone that, like, bullied you ever reached out, apologized? Have you ever crossed paths with anyone? Like, because I'm a teacher, and there's a lot of kids that
Sure.
go through bullying. It's not just like something you read about, man. It really affects them. They'll come into class, like, sometimes there's no consoling them. Like, it's a very real problem. It's a very real thing, and it affects you. It's like a trauma that sticks with you, man. Is there any growth from that? Have you confronted any bullies or anything like that? I don't want to get too deep. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're good. I talk about this a lot, actually.
Okay.
I have been hit up before, DMs especially. Most of them are in my request box. I kind of just leave them there. But if they come to me in person, you know, I show them grace, man. We were all kids. You know, everybody was saying, oh, Casey was a small guy. Casey's not going to make it, you know. And it sucked. And I went through a very, very, very rough patch. But, you know, with my own belief, you know, I got myself to that next level. It wasn't them. I mean, it made me stronger. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, I have no hate towards them. You know, it's just kind of like a, hi, how you doing? Hey, I appreciate you. Good to see you. And just keep moving because I have bigger and better things to worry about than trying to make amends or make friends with people that, you know, really destroyed my mental as a kid. So, yeah.
But and I appreciate you sharing that.
Sure.
Shameless promo. We got to talk about Slammiversary, New York
100%.
City.
Let's talk about it.
UBS Arena. I think you're going to be there at the hockey game tomorrow.
I will be at the hockey game
First of all,
tomorrow.
I know you're a Miami Heat guy.
Big time.
Are you a hockey guy at all? Yeah, a little bit. Devils, what?
Interesting enough, I'm actually a Rangers fan.
Oh, really?
And they're playing the Rangers tomorrow.
No way. You got, hey, man.
So, for the first time in my life, I'm going to have to vote against the Rangers.
Yes,
And
you will do
that's
that.
going to be
And I understand
rough. Shout out to the Islanders. They sent me a jersey, and it says blessed on it. Like,
that's awesome.
the Rangers never did that for me.
21?
I passed Madison Square Garden. I'm like, where's my jersey? You know what I mean?
Number 21?
Of course, number 21,
Gotcha,
man.
bro. Yeah,
Of course.
I love it. That's awesome, man. So you are a hockey guy, but we got to talk about Slammiversary.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Promo, guys, get your tickets now, July 20th,
Yep.
UBS Arena, NYC.
Yeah.
I think that's about 5 months from now, Casey.
Just about.
Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be positioned on that card?
I truly believe I'm going to have a major role on that card. I just believe it. The moment it was announced, I saw the date, July 20th. I'm like, July 20th? Why is that date hitting me? Oh, it's the day before my birthday. But then I was like, July 20th. Well, July 20th, 2008, in the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, I went to my first WWE event.
Oh, wow.
And to think, what is that, 15 years? Like 15 years later, I'll be in that, well, not the same arena, but in Long Island at the UBS Arena wrestling on that same exact day. I think it's meant for me to do something big, whether that's go for the TNA Tag Team titles, X Division title, or just have a big match. I'm going to have an impact on that match. I know it, no pun intended. I'm going to have an impact on that match. I already have my family going out to it. My father's flying out for it. I'm going to be a part of that card in a big way, and I think that's going to be my moment to show the entire world who I truly am.
Yeah, and again, you're doing it in real time, and I see you continuing to climb, man. I'm so proud of you. But I got to ask you this, man. Because you really have worked with all of the top names in such a short period of time.
Literally, my friend the other day was like, "What are your dream matches at TNA?" I'm like, "Brother, I don't know," because before, when I got signed, I was like, "Oh, I want to wrestle the Hardys, I want to wrestle Joe, I want to wrestle Nick, I want to wrestle Santana." I kind of did it all in 4 months. So like now I'm kind of like, I don't know.
And that's a testament to be put in that position. It's like Casey can do this. I got to ask you this, obviously, and I've said this to you as well. Like with First Class, man, did it click? Like with you and AJ, like it was, it was kind of, it felt impromptu. Something going on. You stepped up when you were needed, and man. And I know you, man. I've known you for a long time. You're in the ring. You're very chatty in the ring, which I love.
Yeah.
You feed off the fans, but like you can do anything.
Sure.
Tell us what it's like. It can't be easy with AJ, bro. But tell us. I kid. But what's it like? What's the chemistry like there? Because on screen it is magic.
I mean, it's crazy. Me and AJ, we didn't really have a friendship outside of TNA. I didn't really know him. I met him a couple times. He DM'd me a couple times, wanted to fight me for my Warrior title in the Indies. Never happened.
Oh, DM'd you, huh?
But yeah, he did. I got proof of that.
I believe it.
But so if he ever says he didn't, I have proof. I have the receipts.
Yes.
But the moment that they had us do it, I just knew the type of role I had to fill. I truly believed that my character would mesh very well with his. And I just felt like if I was able to be myself, that it would succeed. I feel like if I was kind of like told how to be me to be with him, I feel like I would have struggled a little bit. But that's what I love about TNA. They trust their talent, and they let me go out there and feel comfortable, be me. I kind of figured out more of who I was being with him and figured out how to mesh well with him by just going out there. Like, if you watch my entrance when I came out with him at Emergence for the first time, and then go watch my entrance with him last week or next week, it's just a different Casey Navarro. Like, even like I was told last week that you could just see the confidence. Like, I don't look like a new guy. I look like a guy that's been here. I don't look like a new X Division guy. I look like a guy that's been here for years. I look like a guy that can be a champion, and that's why I wanted to be here. And being with AJ definitely helps. He actually gives me a lot of confidence as well, and he gives me a lot, and we're having a lot of fun. And that's the most important thing. And we're just trying to plot our way, figure out our thing to keep us at the top, and get those tag team titles at some point.
I love it. Last one, Casey. And, dude, so glad we got to do this finally.
Oh, me too, bro.
I appreciate I'll get the mushy stuff out real quick,
sure.
man. Again, I appreciate you, man. I probably wouldn't be here, like, today if it wasn't for you, man. I was going through some tough stuff. I told you this before. You checked in on me during COVID. Checked in on me and my family, man. We were able to podcast and make the most of that, man. And I was able to keep going. And that's thanks to you, man. I always appreciate you. You always inspire me, man. I'm twice your age almost, and you still inspire me. I'll ask you this one, Casey.
Sure.
I always ask everyone this one, and I think I ask you this one now for the first time. What advice would you have for the independent talent, especially here in the Northeast? I know you know a lot of them. I see you give back to a lot of them in real time because they don't have, and you know these problems, they don't have weekly TV.
Right.
You're a heel here. You're a face here. You cut a promo here, and then it's kind of only in that one promotion. Like, what advice would you have for someone who's trying to, anything they could do, man? You've transformed your body. Just any advice you would have.
Maximize your opportunities. That'd be the biggest thing. Anytime you're wrestling anybody, whether you're new on a show and you're going to be out there for 30 seconds and just get squashed, like, it is what it is. But you got to maximize that opportunity. You got to prove to them that, okay, you gave me 30 seconds this time, maybe you can give me 5 minutes next time. And that 5 minutes could turn into 8 minutes. That 8 minutes could turn into 10, 15, 20. And then you can wrestle guys from the undercard to the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, that's what I did. And always believe in yourself truthfully. Like, if you have a thing that you believe in and everybody might go, oh, that's not going to work, do it, man. Like, everybody said me turning my hair pink and calling myself blessed was not going to work. That got me to where I am today. I went from being just blessed to truly blessed to the blessed of the best to the first class blessing of TNA. Like, I kept the same thing, but I always use this analogy. I'm not a Pokemon guy by any means, but I think it's the best way to think about it. How, you have like Charmander, Charmeleon, whatever, Charizard, Charmeleon, whatever. And like, they go through an evolution. It's the same thing, but it just gets better and better and better. So that's like what I was. I was blessed. Then truly blessed. And then you kind of see my hair change. It was like blessed was just black mohawk. Truly blessed was the pink mohawk. And then it just kind of went blessed to the best. Then I started changing. It was more pink. And then my tattoos. I got more tattoos. And then
more muscles.
More muscles. Exactly. And then my hair grew. And then, I started looking more like a star. And now I'm the first class blessing at TNA. But that's because I believed in myself. I let God kind of like just guide my path. And whatever was going to happen was going to happen. And here I am now. So I would just say believe in yourself. Chase those dreams. Don't let anybody get in your way. Don't let any situation make you think that you can't. 2023, I lost everything. I lost a lot of money. I lost my relationship. I lost some relationships with family. I lost my love for wrestling. I was really, really down. And if you would have told me at the end of 2023 that a year later I would have been signed to the company I wanted to be at, wrestling all my heroes, and having a major spot, not a oh, he's here once in a while, or no, like I'm on TV just about every week, and now I got a segment with AJ, the First Class Penthouse on live TV. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed, and that's all because I trusted God and I believed in myself.
And I saw it in real time. Casey, thank you for a few minutes of your time. Ladies and gentlemen, follow him at Casey Wrestles.
Yes, sir.
My friend and inspiration, guy who's going to take over the pro wrestling world. I'm watching in real time.
I appreciate
Casey,
you. I appreciate you. El Paso, we're coming for you for sacrificing the tapings. And then don't forget, TNA Slammiversary, July 20th, UBS Arena. You're going to see me make a really nice, blessed impact. And you don't have to tell me. I know, because if you ain't first class, you're last. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for everything, and thank you for always believing in me from day one to now, man. So thank you.
All the love, bro. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate it. The BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here, and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7 all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back, our sponsor, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCallum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over 150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Please welcome in our new pod and daily site sponsor, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, located in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Twisted Shamrock is a retro spa experience for the average Joe and Jane. Meet the next evolution of recovery and relaxation. Right now, you can try their introductory offer, where you can try a core service to include massage, skincare, facial, stretch therapy, body slimming, toning, personal training, and spray tanning for 30 minutes for just $30. This is perfect for our wrestling pals as well. Book today. Call 484-574-8868 or visit www.twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs Podcast. featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsor, EM Collectibles, featuring live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on Facebook and stay tuned for their upcoming events. Upcoming events right now, March 8th, Hernando Toy and Comic Show, the Hernando County Fairgrounds live signing with Super Crazy. March 22nd, Neg Dog Championship Wrestling presents Music and Mayhem in Hudson, Florida with special guest Super Crazy. March 29th and 30th, 2025 Syracuse Collectors Con in Syracuse, New York with Bill Alfonso, Gary Wolf, and the quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner, March 30th only. April 5th, New England Fan Fest, and we'll have Buff Bagwell. April 13th, 2025, our premiere show, Bring Back the Memories Toy Show, and May 10th, our renowned 90s Wrestling Con in Morristown, New Jersey, guests to be named soon. Please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, Inside Heat, Sports and Collectibles. Learn from a legend, that's right, Howard Johnson from the Mets. There's a baseball clinic March 29th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ages 6 through 14, boys and girls. Enroll now at the Maple Grange Fields, 36 Maple Grange Road, Vernon, New Jersey. Contact Pete for event or sponsorship information at InsideHeatSports@gmail.com. Warriors of Wrestling presents New Breed, Saturday, March 15th at Most Precious Blood Church in Brooklyn, New York, featuring WCW legend Vampiro and former NXT superstar Odyssey, FKA Odyssey Jones, with a special appearance by Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com and be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Bree Combination Wrestling presents Madness at the Mecca. It's going to be on Sunday, March 16th, 2025, 106 Bergen Ave, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Doors at 2, bell at 3 p.m. Featuring BCW World Heavyweight Championship match, Darius Carter versus the Messiah of Old School, Sean Donovan. Of course, Anthony Gangone versus Casey Navarro, Stunning Law, and plenty more. Get your tickets now.